Are in for a musical treat as Empress Palace hosts the world's premier Freddie Mercury and Queen tribute show, Queen. The 2-hour theatrical rock concert features all the band's greatest hits performed live, from We Will Rock You, Bohemian Rhapsody, We Are the Champions and Fat Bottom Girls. The lead singer, Giles Taylor, who plays Freddie Mercury in Queen, joins us in studio to share more. Giles, it's so great to have you in studio. Thank you so much for coming.
Good morning.
I love the outfit.
It's great, isn't it?
It is fantastic. Firstly, take us through the audition process. How did you hear about it, and what was that process like for you? Often it can be so daunting to try and audition for a role, and sometimes you audition for one and you land another.
This is very true. I was working in the West End at the time in London, doing some theatre roles there, and the Australian production company who put this show together were having worldwide auditions for all of the 4 characters in the band, not just mine. And my agent phoned me up and said they're looking for someone who can sing and also someone who can play the piano live as well. And they want to basically find their Freddie Mercury. So we had a couple of Skype auditions, and then I went to Australia for the final auditions. It was a very lengthy process. It's probably the longest audition process I've ever had for any show I've ever been in.
I can imagine, but I mean, there's so many elements that make the show that they had to make it just right. They had to get the right person to do the right thing. So I'm glad that you got the parts.
Thank you.
Then, I mean, as I say, there's a lot of elements that make the show work. For your role, there's the instruments, there's the singing, there's the dancing, there's the traveling as well. Does that not take a toll on you, and how do you handle all that pressure?
To be honest, the traveling is probably more exhausting than doing the actual shows. We're very lucky that we're in Emperor's Palace for a month, and we finish on New Year's Eve. So for us, this is actually, have a residency is actually quite relaxing. It's when you're having to, pack up everything and sit on a tour bus for a night and then arrive at the next venue and do that over and over again. That's when it becomes really exhausting. So for us, this is actually a holiday. It's very enjoyable.
And so in terms of what we see on stage, take us through the costumes, take us through the other people that share the stage with you, how well you guys gel, how well you perform together, and just the process of making this show a success.
Well, when the company decided to put a Queen tribute show together, they wanted to make it heads and shoulders above any other Queen tribute. And there are some good Queen tributes out there and some great Freddie Mercury impersonators. So in order to make it as good as possible, we had to replicate all the costumes. So all of the band's costumes are handmade, crafted to fit us. All of the sets that they used to have in the mid-80s, which is what we've loosely based the show around. We have all the replica amps, all the replica instruments. Everything is exactly as you would have seen Queen in their heyday in the mid-80s. So we've replicated everything to make it look as perfectionist as possible.
And do you keep any exercise regime? Because, as you say, the traveling can be quite taxing. I mean, it's live performances, so your energy has to be right up there every single time you put on the production. What do you do just to relax and make sure that you're fully prepared?
I'm often asked in interviews what the hardest thing about replicating Freddie Mercury is, and people often assume it's the voice, it's the vocals. But to be honest with you, when he wasn't sitting at the piano, he was running around the stage like a madman all the time. And that is the hardest thing. Running around the stage for 2 hours is just, it's a ridiculous level of fitness that you have to have. And I think for me, that was the biggest hurdle in taking on this role.
Do you have plenty of chocolate before the shows?
I haven't had chocolate for a long time. I crave some chocolate in my life.
How did Freddie Mercury and the Queen inspire you as an artist?
I'm in my early 40s now, so I remember Queen when I was about 6 or 7. My father had a copy of Queen's greatest hits and played it non-stop, as I think most people my age, parents, did. So that was my first introduction to Queen. But I've always been a fan of classic rock and guitar-based music, so when I got this role, it was really nice to immerse myself in that kind of stuff. Occasionally we're forced to take roles that we don't enjoy, but this is really a pleasure and an honor to do.
So you guys are showing at the Theatre of Marcellus here in South Africa performing. How have people responded to the play so far, and why would you say people need to come see it?
The Theatre of Marcellus, which is housed at Emperor's Palace Casino, it's a nice, cosy venue. We get a lot of people who are in the casino to enjoy themselves and have a night out, and we have a lot of outsiders coming just to see the show. So it's really, really good. We've had an amazing reception whilst we've been here. We've done a lot better than we thought we would do, to be honest with you. I think we're close to getting sold out, but there's still tickets available for a number of the nights. And like I say, we finish on New Year's Eve, so that'll be a big party night for us.
And what do you promise audiences?
Basically, it's a 2-hour show, and what we've done is we've selected the best bits of Queen's live performances over their 30, 40-year lifespan and basically put all of those into one 2-hour kick-ass show. It's great.
All right, Giles, thank you so much for making the time to come on the show, and all the best.
Thank you very much indeed.
That was, well, Giles Taylor, of course, performing in the Theatre of Marcellus until the 31st of December. It's Queen, Kind of Magic is set to recreate Queen's historically famous 1986 World Tour concert here on South African soil. Make sure you get your tickets and go see it. Time to take a quick break here on Morning Live. More when we return.